All right, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're talking about the Wuben X4. But before we get into today's video, if you're new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of this awesome cycling content on this channel. So like I said, today we're talking about the Wuben X4 light here. Now this light's a little bit different than the lights I normally review. It's kind of a multi-purpose light, it does all sorts of kind of things. It's also the first Kickstarter product I believe I reviewed on the channel. So kind of cool on that factor as well. And it honestly did really well on its Kickstarter, to the point where it kind of impressed me a little bit. So the Wuben X4, you look at this and you're kind of like, it looks like a flashlight, and you're right, it is essentially a flashlight. It's got a lot of cool little features and how this thing works. It's very tactical in the way it functions. So looking at this thing, you kind of see kind of its tactfulness. Has a slider right here, power button, has a dial here, has a little clicker on the back there, has a belt clip, you know, nice light there, maybe a light here. It's got all sorts of kind of more tactical features on there than you see on like a, you know, normal bike light. And this is a bike light, and I'll show you kind of that in a moment here. But this thing is kind of neat how it all functions. So your slider right here, there's multiple options here for the mode it's in. So we slide it up once, that's going to be our side light. So that's going to be, if we turn this on, there's our side light right there. Now with the side light, we can adjust the brightness with the dial here. So you kind of have a very solid adjustment there. And when it flashes like that, that means you're at the bottom of the adjustment. If you push and hold, it'll actually go to a red, and it does a similar thing. If you turn that dial, it'll actually change the color, and so you can have pretty much whatever color you want it to be, kind of shining out the side. Kind of different. Now, if we move it up to our next spot here, we go one more up, that's going to be our main beam, come right out the front. So if we push our power button on, you can see it starts kind of low, and we can crank that power all the way up, and that thing is super bright. And of course we can turn that thing all the way back down too. So if we have it all the way down and double click, it goes to full power mode. Kind of cool how that works. So we got that there, and then of course we got one more mode here. It's a moon. What does the moon do? So we flick it over to the moon, we hit our power button. That's kind of your nighttime mode. You need to see something at night but not turn on your whole flashlight, not blind yourself accidentally. That limits the output to keep it nice and low, so you don't really have to worry about it. Kind of cool. The other thing that's kind of nice is a little clicker on the back. So it's got a little trigger switch right here. So what that trigger switch does, if you're in that light mode, it'll turn it on like so if you're in that nighttime mode. Or if we're in our normal beam, it kind of lets you push and turn it on as needed. Kind of cool. And then if you double click it, it goes into a full-on flash mode, which is like party rave mode, dance mode. So it goes pretty intense all off of that back clicker. Now, pretty kind of cool design, different stuff, a little bit, like I said, it's different than a lot of the lights I've tested before, and it's definitely different than a lot of the bike lights I've tested before. So kind of cool similarities here. It is USB-C rechargeable. It's kind of hidden under the slider. Really kind of cool, something you wouldn't notice if you were checking this out for the first time. It took me a minute to find where the charging port was, because it's just hidden under there. Nice and secure spot right there. Works good. That's pretty neat there. Other nice thing is this is powered by a rechargeable battery. So you pop open the back here with the little lock there, and you got a battery in here. And this is an 18650 that's in here. So pretty common battery. You can find these batteries and buy more if you need more, whatever that kind of thing is. You know me, I like my lights to be battery powered. It just lets me carry multiple options. If I run out of, you know, if it runs out of charge, I can just swap a battery out. Pretty easy. I've done that before on big 24-hour races, and it's something I really like, and you don't see very much in lights now. So having a removable battery and something that's common that you can pick up pretty much anywhere, really kind of cool that they offer that. And the battery just pops right back down. You click that shut, flick the lock thing, and your battery is nice and secure in there. Pretty cool how that works. Along with that, it has multiple different positions you can put this in. So obviously it has a belt clip here, so you can clip it onto your belt. You can have it just stand up. You can also have it magnetized to something. This is a magnetic base on here, so it will magnetize to anything that's magnetic. Kind of cool. You can put it wherever you want. I've kind of grown to like the magnet lights just because you can stick them wherever they need to stick. kind of cool that that works that well. So now let's get on to how this thing is a bike light. So you can get, so with the X4 and with a lot of Wuben's other lights, you can get a kit that allows you to mount this onto a bike mount. In that kit, it comes with this little adapter piece here. So you do have to remove this clip, pull this off, mount this yourself, and then put everything back together. So it's kind of a bit of a pain, and I'll be honest, it was not something that I felt like was intuitive to do with the kit. There wasn't instructions that came with it, so it's kind of difficult to figure out what to do. I ended up having to email them, go, hey, how are you supposed to install this to make this work on this light? So not really intuitive. I wish it was a little bit more intuitive, or at least included instructions to that, as well as extra hardware for it. So if you look kind of close, you'll notice I only have one screw in this. There's supposed to be two. When I was installing this, these are tiny, tiny, tiny screws to the point where I don't really have another one of those just hanging around. And it snapped before it was even tight. So I have this one as tight as it can be without snapping it, hopefully. So it'll work for the moment while I try and figure out another solution for that missing screw here. But it's kind of a pain to put on. I wish it was just included on the light to start off with versus having you install it yourself. I feel like a lot of us, especially in the cycling world, would rather have that, just have it ready to go out of the box than having to install, you know, a funky little clip on here. So anyways, that's just me. That's just my experience there. It's kind of a pain to install. I wish it wasn't such a pain to put this little piece onto the belt clip. But once it's on there, it really doesn't. It's really difficult. You wouldn't know. If you got the light like this, you would think this is how it's supposed to be. So, you know, whatever. Works, it works. So what they give you with the bike mounting kit is essentially your kind of standard style bike mount clip right here. Nothing super fancy, pretty standard. Realistically, nothing much to it. Comes with these kind of rubber pieces in here, as well as it comes with extra little rubber caps that can go onto these to make it a little bit thicker if you have a thinner style handlebar. But pretty easy to put on. Let's put it on the redwood here and gotta test this thing out, see how it works as a bike light. All right, so let's mount this guy up on the redwood here. So in my case, if we just try and mount it like this with no little spacers in there up on my bar, it's a little bit small. My bar is a little bit small for that really to clamp down enough and not have it slide around. So we're gonna use these little extra caps they give you that just go right over the ones that are kind of molded into here. They just pop right on in there, put it right into place, squish it. Oh, hold up. There we go. Put that right on there, squish it right on in, flip this lever right on around, kind of get it aimed straight, and then we just tighten this little screw down until it's nice and tight. That's going to squish that rubber, make sure it stays on there, it doesn't twist around, none of that kind of stuff. We're going to make sure it kind of is aimed good. There we go. All right. Yeah, we're going to tighten that guy down until we feel like that's, oh yeah, there we go. That's pretty solid right there. Once you have that on, it's just honestly pretty simple to put the light on here. So I have mine mounted here, so the front of the light is kind of where you slide it on. So you just slide on just like any other bike light. Clicks into place, and there you go. You got your bike light installed, your flashlight essentially installed on your bike. Kind of cool. Pretty slick kind of design to it. Another nice thing is that you can unlock the pivot point on the light mount, and that allows you to actually twist your light 360 degrees. So if you can't mount it straight on this bar, you can mount it on the side bar. You can mount it over here, wherever you want to mount it. You can mount this thing and just twist the light around wherever it needs to be. So kind of cool. That's a little feature there. And then it just locks into place once you're in your spot, and it won't twist from there. Kind of nice. So to turn this guy on, we push our slider up 1, 2. That should be in our front power mode. And we should be able to turn that guy on and turn up our light output there. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Aims pretty good. Looks pretty good. It's honestly not much bigger than any other bike light out there. And it has the benefit of you can pull this off and use it kind of wherever you want, whether that's magnetizing to something. If you have a steel bike, you can magnetize it to your steel bike. You can click it onto your, you click it onto your hat if you want to use it as a headlamp, whatever you want to do. Kind of has all those different features there that a normal bike light doesn't quite have. So let's go ahead and turn the lights off. We'll see how this thing looks in the dark and see if this thing has the output we want for a good style bike light. All right, so we've got all the lights off on here. We got our light. Let's turn that onto our light mode there. And let's go ahead and we'll just push that guy on there. And I believe that is our full output right there. So looking at that beam pattern, it's a very bright. So it is incredibly bright all out the months. It's almost blowing out the camera a little bit with how bright that is. So that is, I believe it goes up to 1500 lumens. That's kind of what you're getting there. Full power there. So let's go ahead and turn it down a little bit. So it goes all the way down to, I believe it's like 5 lumens is what it's giving you. So I mean, even that, you can still see a little bit, not a ton, but you can see a little bit. And you can slowly kind of bring that back up with this dial. And if we go back up to our max output right there, it's honestly not bad. You can see stuff pretty well. It's not horrible. I've seen way worse before. It gives a pretty decent beam pattern. It kind of scatters it everywhere. It's a very wide beam pattern, kind of everywhere. Because, I mean, you can see it. It's all the way down at the floor, lighting up down by the pump really well. It's all the way up in the rafters, lighting the rafters up really well. It's all the way over here, shining all the way pretty much to the garage wall on this side, and all the way on the garage wall on that side. So it's a very wide beam pattern versus a lot of them are more focused. That's why I see with bike lights. So this gives you a wide pattern here, which that's kind of what you want with a normal style flashlight, which is kind of what this is, with the added capability of being able to mount to your bike to test it out. So it has a very wide pattern. You're probably going to aim this farther down than you would put a normal light. Like right now, we're about level. We're about level right now. So honestly, with this guy, you probably want to aim it a little more down. Oh yeah, that made it a little better. Yeah, makes it a little better, keeping it kind of down there. So yeah, that makes things a little bit better. So aiming it down, that gives you a good view right in front of your bike, right here. Not as wide as, you know, it was before, but it still gives a little bit of light up here, a little bit of light to the sides, but mainly kind of aimed at the road. Give or take about a bike and a half length in front of you. That's going to be about where you'd want it. So tipping this light down a hair makes kind of all the difference here. With it pointed straight, it's a little bright. So let's go ahead and kind of turn this guy down. So you kind of have that mode right there, which realistically, let's see, if we turn this to our nighttime mode, that's pretty much our nighttime mode right there. Like 5 lumens, super like nothing. But realistically, that would work okay as a daytime running light. It gives enough light that, you know, people would see you're there. It has 4 different LEDs up here, so it does give it gives some semblance of a light out there, which, you know, could work for a daytime running light versus, you know, an actual, you know, get out and ride outdoors light. So you kind of have all of that, and then of course you still have the option to use the up top, the one up here, if you wanted to use that, or if we wanted to, you also still have the option to use the up top one if, you know, for whatever reason you wanted to use the up top one. Relatively, when it's on the bike mount, that doesn't do too much for you. It's just going to blind you more than anything. So you still have that option if you wanted to use the up top light there as well. So it kind of keeps everything still functional, just mounted onto the bike. All right, so let's get into some specifics on this light. So like I said, max output on that front light, 1500 lumens, minimum 5 lumens. Kind of what you're getting there. Works pretty good, which in that case, realistically, you get kind of a wide range of time frame on this thing, anywhere from 3 hours to 285 hours. Obviously that 5 lumens doesn't put out a whole bunch. It's going to last a lot longer, but even 3 hours on 1500 lumens, that's not bad. That's a pretty solid amount of time. For the side light here, for the white light, it goes anywhere from 100 lumens to 1 lumen, so very dim on the side light. So again, same thing, works up to 8 to 720 hours based on the setting you have it on. And then our side RGB lights here that change to whatever color you want, those are running 10 lumens, run about 70 hours on there. You can also set up different stuff to have it flash between different lights, red and blue, red and green, red and yellow, and those get a little bit more based on what you're running. So you have that option with this light as well. So honestly, with the Wuben X4, so this is my first time testing out a Wuben light, and I have to say they have a lot of light options out there. So this is not their first one. Obviously, this is the X4, so They have the X3, X2, you know, stuff like that. They do a really good job with construction of their lights. The lights work really well. They feel solid is really the best way I can word this. They feel like a solid light. And it's something I would say, yeah, works really good as kind of a do everything kind of light. So, I mean, you got your flashlight here. That's really nice to kind of, you know, you can pop out of your tent at night and kind of look around, see what's going on. You know, you can do whatever. It's a really, I feel like it's hard to go wrong with this light. It does work really good. My only complaint is the mount here for actually putting it onto the bike mount here. The little adapter piece they have you put on. Just, I feel like they just need to have that on there from the factory. It's not something, I feel like it's not something everybody should have to deal with that wants to run it on a bike. If you're going to market this towards cyclists, it should just have that mount on there. It really doesn't get in the way of anything. So that's my only complaint with this, was the little mount that drove me insane to get installed. Other than that, this is a really nice light, whether just for a flashlight or mounting on your bike. It's going to do the trick for you in kind of whatever situation you have, and it ultimately does it really well. As they do everything kind of light, it's hard to go wrong with the Wuben X4. So if you guys are interested in checking out the Wuben X4 or any other Wuben light for yourselves, there's going to be a link in the description down below. The Wuben X4 has actually just came out, so if you guys want to get the brand new light here, they offer this in the gray that I have. They offer it in a white as well. If you guys want to check out a brand new light, give them some love, check it out for them. Big thanks to Wuben for sending out a light so I can share kind of a different bike light with you guys that's totally multi-purpose. If you guys enjoyed the video or maybe learned something today, give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love talking to you guys. Love answering questions you guys have. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.